B.o.B originally started as just an acronym. There was no meaning to it, it was just an acronym. We started to put meanings to it, and we started to create a list. The list just got bigger and bigger, and quite frankly, I just got tired of saying all those meanings. There's never been one better, there's never been one before. Barack Obama, Barack over Bush, brains over bullets, banging on beats, perhaps. Now it's just Bob, it stands for Bob. I was born in Winston-Salem, but I have no mental recollection of being there. So, because I moved there when I was so young. I moved to Atlanta when I was like 2, maybe. So I've basically just been raised in Decatur my whole life. Eventually I got into music through the trumpet. The trumpet was like my gateway. And my dad showed me a trumpet one day and was like, it was all shiny. And he closed it up and said, you gotta make A's if you wanna play this. My childhood put me through situations and things that molded all these different aspects of my personality. So instead of just having one, a one-faceted personality, it's very dynamic. And people who know me say that there are about four of us, about 4 Bobs. One side of me is just like the attitude that someone would have when they're crumping. And they're like, oh, I'm like, buzz, bet I buzz, that's just what I... And then another side is like, it's like real melodic. It's like, he just wants to play guitar. It's just passionate. I just want to play the guitar and just sing to you. I wrote a song, do you want to hear it? Another side of me is like real, like, it's like real, like, da-da-da. Yes we can. Another side would be just jolly, just jovial, just like, sometimes there's a melancholy side, it's just like, well, I don't know. I really don't know what I want anymore. Those are the 5 Bobs. The world that I was in as little Bob, sometimes it was a dark place, very dark. Sometimes it was very nostalgic, you could say. I grew up in a house where it really wasn't finished. It was just kind of like a shack, pretty much. Like, I'm talking about like no walls. As a kid, you're pretty open to life because you really don't have much to judge things off of. So you kind of just accept the current situation. So basically we got evicted, and so we had to build this house. So we moved in, we didn't have a refrigerator. We had to use a cooler to put food in for a minute. And when the winter came, it's kind of like, FML. We had to get like jet heaters and kerosene heaters and stuff. And then he finally finished the fireplace. And when he finished the fireplace, it was like, okay, we got, So basically it was like, I'm just used to like being in just really crazy situations. And being in that, just growing up in a house like that, how you think is just, you think reflective of your situation. So like all of my outward relationships, like with all the friends in the neighborhood and with all the teachers, it's just kind of like incomplete. So that's what spawned me to pursue music. It was really self-therapy, honestly. I started writing a note to myself. And I can't really remember what I said, but I remember the feeling. It was like, I'm just really fed up. Like, I can't do this. Like, I don't like my current situation. So I was so fed up with it that I was just in class just writing. But this is how it started. I started writing a note to myself, and it ended up being a rap, which was crazy. And this was like 7th grade. This is when I actually was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm doing. It's like 7th grade, that's it. So I would write raps, and that's how it started. It started as self-therapy. So I just kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And then one day my brother, I'm gonna tell you one thing about my brother. He's like the guy, every now and then he'll just come and just straight drop some knowledge, just like bam, and then just nonchalantly walk away like, oh well. This was around the time when Joe Buttons came out. So he came up and told me, he was like, you know Joe Budden, he used to write 15 pages a day. And I was like, oh really? Oh, well, shouldn't have told me that. So I literally started filling up notebooks with lyrics. Like each day I would try to write like 15, I would try to write more. I was like, man, I'm just gonna keep writing. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna keep writing. So I just kept writing, filling up notebooks. I actually still have this drawer of notebooks. When I was in middle school, it was like, okay, do I want to play the trumpet or do I want to freestyle and be like, you know, the guy who's dope at freestyling.
Bet I know everything about this game.
I'm the type of person to where I really work a lot, and it's not even because I'm consciously trying to work a lot. It's just that I'm just so compulsive, and I'm so, you know, I just go, and I do the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I'll be clicking a pen, just. So I will write a lot of verses. So I just kind of always had the edge lyrically in terms of just being able to put words together. So I used to freestyle. Like, I would freestyle stuff, and like, they would think I wrote it because they freestyling it. So one time I got in a freestyle battle in middle school in the bathroom, and I just straight ethered the guy. Then he came back with something written and came back and read it off the piece of paper, just like straight, I challenge you, like, just walked up to me, yo, I murdered you and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, okay, like, you got it. Yes, I still feel I'm the underdog today, and it's still there because, you know, I always have that feeling of, okay, it's not good enough, I need to do better. And throughout the whole course of my career, everything that happens, I always keep like this location for myself, and the location is, okay, you're not there yet, you still got to get there. And it's always been like that. Musically, who influenced me would be, I'll start from the roots, back when I was Little Bob. James Brown, Michael Jackson, the OJs. The OJs are like, hands down, just dope. Then I got into rap more, like DMX, Eminem. I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard the story about my brother finding a $20 bill, buying a DMX album, me getting the album, dubbing it to a tape cassette, and listening to it and writing out the lyrics so I could learn how to rap. It's funny because when I was in 3rd grade, I thought that you had to rap really aggressive like DMX, so I was like, those would be the musical influences. And honestly, like, now I'm still being influenced musically, like from rock music and you know, like groups like Animal Collective and Foo Fighters and Owl City, MGMT, Eminem, Nas, Paramore. I love Paramore. You gotta love Paramore. It's just like, I feel like I've always been a musician, but I feel like it always changes from chapter to chapter throughout my life, because when I started out, I didn't really aspire to be a musician per se. I was just kind of like playing the trumpet just because it was something to do and it looked shiny. So it was never like, man, I'm gonna be a dope musician, well accomplished. It was just there. You know, my sister played the piano. She plays the piano in my band now that I perform with, and you know, I picked up from her just because it was there. So a lot of stuff I just picked up, and it kind of, life really kind of inspired me just to be a musician. And Playboy Trey, he taught me Pro Tools when I was in like 10th grade. And that gave me the tools to actually take music and mold it and really learn how to like chop it up and, you know, chord stuff. So it's like, just throughout my life, I've run into the right people. Day by day, I get inspired musically, especially when I discovered the band Coldplay. I listened to it and I was like, man, this is what I want to do. Like, and then I went to a concert and it was all over. Once I went to the concert, it was like, that's what I'm doing. And then I performed I did the hip hop live tour with David Banner and Talib Kweli in 2008. And that was Little Bob coming out. He was like, so I go. I went on the hip hop live tour in 2008 with David Banner and Talib Kweli, and performing with the live band, like, it kind of spoiled me because right after that, I went right back to performing with just a DJ. And it was kind of like, you know, it's just kind of like regular chips, potato chips, you know, it's just like, I wanted the band, you know what I mean? So, but now I can do both, you know, because I can't bring the band to every show, but, you know, it's all about the MC skills though. It's all about, you know, the skills that I learned being in the bathroom freestyle battling. First concert that I went to was Coldplay concert. And I have never been to a concert. I performed at concerts, but the first time I went to a concert, I was 19. It's crazy, right? Like being a musician, inspired by it all. Never been to a concert until I was 19, and it was a Coldplay concert in LA. For me, this is what the concert was. It was like going back to my childhood, because as a musician, you start out being an artist for therapy, for self-therapy. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't experience, that I didn't get to experience. So going to that concert was like going back in time to my childhood and like feeling that same like, oh boy, that little Bob. So it's like, it was real nostalgic, the feeling of it, because you go back to that place. And you know, it's just packed. I mean, it's the Forum. It's a lot of people. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, they had like screens, but they were like spheres. They're like globes, like screens, and they would move through the ceiling. And like, what it really showed me was what a show could be. Like, what I was doing, I was like, man, I could really give a show. You know, man, I don't give a show. And like, it was my first time going to a concert, so I didn't understand the whole encore thing. So they would leave, and I'd be like, man, what are they gone? Like, what's going on? Like, I was like, why is everybody sitting down? What are they gone? What's going on? So then they came back and they left again. That magic that I felt, that's what I wanted to make people feel. And that's, no matter what, that's my goal when I perform. Like, regardless of what I have, who's on stage, where I'm at, I'm like, you're gonna feel me when I get on stage. That's my goal. You know when you wake up from a dream and you have this real otherworldly feeling, it's like this magical feeling. That feeling is what inspires me day by day, because it's hard to get that feeling just through the daily routines and distractions. You get distracted from that. But when you go to sleep, you're just there. So it's like your mind is really just creating freely. You know what I'm saying? That's why dreaming is so necessary, because your mind's just creating freely, and you get to create a world that expresses your emotion and what you're feeling. So sometimes when you wake up, you have that feeling, and that feeling is what motivates me, and I try to hold on to that throughout the day for as long as I can, until it eventually dwindles away. Dwindles away as if it were a sound in a breeze. Before I got signed, I was working at Subway, and then I was working nowhere, which inspired a song off of one of my mixtapes called Sing My Song. And I come on the song and I'm saying, my name is Bob, and I don't have a job. When I was coming up trying to record, like, I had like an old Dell laptop with Adobe Audition on it, and I would go into the bathroom and hang up sheets in the wall, and actually, like, I was in a group called The Clinic, and the name Clinic was basically, the concept came from us being like the clinic, so we would like save the hip hop game from all the bad music, from the disease. We had the cure. So like, we would record and we would like hang sheets and pin sheets on the ceiling, nail them in the wall, and record on like little desktop microphones. And it was just, you know, just horrible quality, and we went through a lot. We went through a lot of unnecessary equipment. People selling us shit we don't need. Like, why do we have this? Why do we have this 8-track mixer to record? Like, what do we need with this? So it took a lot of going through trial and error. And I think because I went through trial and error so much, but so early, like, that's really what prepared me. I feel very prepared. The first time I heard myself on the radio was when I heard Cloud 9 being played on the radio in Atlanta. And Cloud 9, if you know, is not like the song, your typical song that they would play on the radio in Atlanta, let alone in Atlanta, you know what I mean? So it's like, that was really magical. Sounded something about the radio, like, do they put like magic dust on it or something? Like, does anybody know? The reaction and the feeling is really, it's that dreamlike feeling. It's that when that dreamlike feeling kicks in. And that same dreamlike feeling was the feeling that kicked in when I was performing at Club Crucial, at T.I.'s club, prior to me getting signed, which led to me getting signed. And the feeling was just, it's like this Cinderella story feeling. It's like, it's kind of unreal. And you know, it's like, that was the first time that I felt that. Like, I actually performed Cloud 9 at T.I.'s Club, Club Crucial, at an open mic night, which led to me being discovered, which led to me getting a deal. But the thing is that, you know, it's not the song that you would typically perform at an open mic, let alone in Atlanta. So it was like, I think just the fact that I was willing to do that, somehow the universe aligned this special doorway. It was like, you, come here. B.o.B Presents The Adventures of Bobby Ray is an album that basically tells my life story, not necessarily like in linear fashion, or like, you know, I was born here and then like, you know, it's not like a story, you know, chronologically per se, but it's a story in terms of emotion and just the journeys that I've taken through music and the experiences that I've gained through just my life. It would appear that it's the most crazy now, but my life has just been crazy from the time I came out the womb to now. So it's like, I'm never really like thrown out of my comfort zone really by just craziness because I'm so familiar with it. So the album it reflects that, it portrays that, and which is why it's such an adventure, because I'm telling you, like, man, it's been an adventure. Like, really, it's like, you know, I'm not talking about like going through a jungle. I'm talking about like leaping over cliffs, like whoa, I almost fell, almost died. The engineer that I work with, he's like an extension of me also, because he's got to know exactly what I want in terms of sound or what I'm aiming for. Because if an engineer could be a good engineer and he could mix your song and not know what you're aiming for, and there could be a sound in there that he'll take down really low, and you'll be like, wait, where's the sound at? That was the sound, you know, that was the lead instrument. So, you know, your engineer has to really be an extension of you. I want to try to make a cartoon, but like, I want to like really go there with it. I don't want to just do like a low budget cartoon and, you know, just to say I did one. Like, I want to go there and just really do it. Like, B.o.B Presents The Adventures of Bobby Ray. No. But I definitely see myself getting into like acting, but I want to do my own acting. I don't want to just like go take roles just so I can act. I want to like be a part of my own project and, you know, really build my own thing. So what I hope to accomplish in my career is to impact as many people as possible, and not necessarily the most positive or negative, because negativity eventually becomes positivity. So I can't really split it up dualistically, but basically to impact as many people as possible. And that's the goal. But whatever happens, I'm cool with it. After fans hear this album, I want them to leave with that excitement that music is still alive and it still has soul in it, and it's not just a recording. It's not just, you know, somebody stacking vocals in a booth. You know, I really want them to become inspired, as well as artists, as well as other musicians. I hope to inspire other musicians, and that way it'll reverberate tremendously, exponentially. It'll affect people and change the music industry, and that's the main thing that I hope that the album does. I feel like the biggest accomplishments in my career was getting signed, first off, performing at the ESPN Awards, performing on the Monique Show, being on the cover of XXL Freshman 10, performing on Carson Daly, having an album that's in stores that you can buy. The easygoing fun stuff is like, it's something you gotta have, kind of, because it's like, you like in life you do the same thing over and over and over again. So it's like, why not make it fun? It's like, you gotta just, you know what I mean? Because that's really what you want to do anyway. Like when you're a kid, you go to the same sandbox, to the same jungle gym every day, but every time you do it, it's like the most exciting stuff in the world. It's like the most exciting stuff. Every time you see those orange and blue bars, you just like, yeah. So it's like, that's kind of like my approach to life. I try to make it fun. If I could have one superpower, it'd be to fly, hands down. The ice cream that best describes me would have to be Neapolitan, because it's got so many different styles and so many different flavors in it. When I'm not making music, I like to listen to music and just sit down and do nothing and just sit there, because I can't do that any other time. Laughing is important because, first off, laughing is an exercise. It's very healthy. It releases chemicals in your body that keeps your body vibrating really good. It feels great. And laughing is important because it's like you get one chance to live, so why not laugh? And you know, life sucks, so just laugh it off. My favorite song at the moment is Kids by MGMT. I mean, really, after I perform, I really just like to do nothing, like light some incense and just sit back and do nothing. I can't really pick a favorite Michael Jackson song. I would have to just pick the Thriller album, just the whole album, plus Off the Wall. My favorite rock band will always be Coldplay. Even if Coldplay had kids and all of their kids grew up to be doper than them, it'd still be Coldplay. My favorite superhero is Wolverine, because it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like indestructible bones, super healing powers. It's like, come on. I gotta have candles. I gotta have my stones that I carry. I gotta have my musicians. Gotta have them, because it's kind of like, it's like this. It's like it's like an extension of myself. So it's like, you know, I can play the keys and the guitars, and you know, I can slap at a bass a little bit, but you know, when it all pulls together, we have that type of connection because we perform together, and you know, we've been through a lot of stuff together. So it's like we know, like it's like this connection we have. It's like we just know what needs to happen. Like when we hear the music moving, it's like, okay, we know what needs to happen. And you know, basically, whoever's in the studio has got to be contributing to the song. If they're not, they're actually, even if they're not doing anything and they're just there, their actual energy is disrupting the flow of making music, because it's just like, you got all these people and then it's like somebody over there. It's like, who's Buzzkill over there? Who's Buzz Killington right there? So those are the necessities. The stones that I carry, I don't have any on me, but stones like quartz, lapis lazuli, Apache tear. I carry these stones because they, you know, stones have energetic properties to them, you know, depending on a real physical sense. You know, they have different hardness levels. You know, some are more hard, some are more dense. Quartz is by far one of the most energetic stones because of its vibration. And you know, they use it in computers a lot. They use it in watches, and it has a lot to do with memory, because quartz can remember your intentions. You know, through the own right of intention and vibration. So I carry it because it kind of keeps a charge. So it's kind of like a battery in a sense. It's like, yeah, it's like that. It's like batteries for intentions. Basically, when you're recording, you have to have a medium to put music on. Like, you know, of course it's saved to your hard drive, but there has to be like a program to do it, to record it, and so you can see it. But I record with Pro Tools and Logic. More recently, I make music in Logic or in Pro Tools. I mean, they're both pretty much the same, but I try to just do it as live as possible, and just I start out doing the demo. I like using AKG microphones for acoustic guitars. I like the Sony C800 for vocals. For my acoustic guitar, I have an LR Baggs pickup, which is pretty dope. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a love-hate relationship. Me and technology have a really It's like one of those relationships where every blue moon it gets really ooh. So, you know, I try to still keep organic. Be in the moment. Right here, if you can see that on the camera. It's my tattoo. I got it because when I play the guitar, I'm like holding it, so I always see it when I'm looking down. That would be the quote. Be in the moment, because no matter where you are, who you are, how old you are, how young you are, you're always in a moment. You're always somewhere in a moment. So if you're always in that moment and you're always consciously aware of the moment that you're in, and you're always conscious of your breathing and your mood, then, you know, it kind of gives you, it enables me to be more proactive in life, and it enables me to make choices as opposed to just being reactive and just, you know, woo. The Hip Hop Live Tour was my favorite tour because it was the first time that I performed with a band, and my favorite night of that tour was the night in Athens. We played in Athens. It was just, the crowd was just there. It was like when people are there, it's like they're just there. It wasn't like, I mean, it was like a pretty intimate venue. It wasn't like, you know, 5,000 people there. It was probably maybe 500 to 1,000 maybe. But like they were there for the music. It was like, that's all they wanted. Like it didn't really matter who I was or, you know, whatever, but the music was there, and it was just awesome. And so that tour was definitely my favorite tour. I love performing in Europe because, you know, it's kind of like you get the effect because the grass is greener on the other side. So it's like when I go to Europe to perform, like I'm excited because I'm going across the pond to Europe to perform. They're excited because they usually don't, you know, it's just such a, you know, it's a world apart. So it's exciting, and, you know, they really appreciate music over there. And it's hard to impress people in America. Like, it's like people are really hard to impress because, you know, everybody's so like, you know, just like on point. It's like, I'm on point, it's perfect. You know, show me something new, show me something I haven't seen. But when I go to Europe, they're just wide open. They're just like, oh my God, you're so awesome, yeah. So I love performing in Europe. I performed in Kristiansand, Norway at a festival, and the crowd was just, I performed a song called Voltage, and the crowd was just like, I've never seen a crowd just like throb like that. That was, you know, the secret to a good life, I can't really tell you because, you know, I don't have all the answers. But for me, I would say breathing and focusing on your breath. Because when you focus on your breath is reflective of how you are. Like if you notice when you're mad or someone's mad, you know, they'll breathe heavy. Different emotions and different moods have different breathing patterns. Like whenever someone's choked up and they're about to cry, you know, it's like they feel it here and the breathing's kind of like choppy. Or if someone's like really excited, you know, they're just, or, you know, but it's like, they're just different things. So it's like a good life doesn't necessarily have to be just one emotion. It's just, you really just have to be conscious of your breathing and really choose what you want to experience. And that's, I would say that would be the secret. Look, fans, I gotta tell you, as excited as you are, I'm just as excited. Finally, we have an album. Finally, we're here. It's been a long journey since Cloud9 2006. We're finally here. We have an album, and I'm just very grateful that y'all have stayed with me this long, that y'all have kept faith in me for this long. The faith from y'all is what got me to this point, because I wouldn't have continued. Like I would have stopped. But like the faith from the fans is basically what fuels me. So it's literally y'all doing this. Like I'm just the instrument, but y'all are playing me. Like y'all are giving me all the inspiration, all the music, even the haters. A hater's just a fan that doesn't have anything nice to say. So thank you.